Welcome to Tech Brothers with Amir. In this video, we are going to learn how to write a web activity output or sometime Azure function JSON output to the Azure Blob storage. So we want to create actually a file in which we would like to put or export the output of web activity, or sometime I have seen people trying to write the output of Azure function to the blob storage. So that for the output most of the time comes as a JSON. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have here. Now let me show you. This is a website I'm using it, and there is a guy who makes really nice videos. His here, I believe so. I don't know. Uh, his full name. I was taking a look on the YouTube. I was trying to find some free REST APIs, free available, and I end up on his channel, Wafa Studies, and then he used this link there. So I'm using the same one. And if you guys want to watch his videos, I will suggest. He has put a lot of effort and watch it. It's a good tutorial to watch for ADF. Now what we are going to do here, I am going to get only one employee, and if I click right there, what's going to happen, it's going to open this link right there, and it has some JSON data. So in my case, what I want to do, I want to use this link and in the create my web activity, and then finally put this value there. So we can start with multiple ways, but first of all, maybe I will let me go ahead and create this one actually. So let's go to the Azure factory here, and what we are going to do, we are going to go to the uh, author, and I was testing this scenario already, so but I'm going to create from scratch so you will understand the whole thing. Let's create a pipeline, and in this pipeline I'm going to call this one web web activity web activity to blob storage. Okay, all good. And now the very first thing is we need to use the web activity, right? So we are going to click web, and then bring it here, and go to settings, and then provide that URL. And so it's going to return us only data for one employee. Now, what type of method we are going to use? We are going to use a get. Okay, so there are other methods, post, put, delete, and patch, and all that. But we are getting the data. We are not posting or even making updates or deleting anything. So we are going to go with the get. This is going to use auto resolved. Do not have any authentication, so I have very limited information that I need to provide. This is totally free web API. So in your case, you might have a more items that you need to provide, but in my case, I don't have it. Fine, but our complex scenario is going to starting now slowly. Now, once I get this data here, what I can do, I can maybe write this data to the variable. That's one of the thing I would like to do, because I want to make it a little more scenario based, so you will keep working with this. Or you can directly actually write to the copy activity, but maybe I want to write to the variable and then go further from there. Okay, so let's create a variable, and we are going to call this variable my variable and then it's going to be string. Okay, no values at all as of now. So now in this value variable, actually I can set the values. So let's click right there. I'm gonna go and set variable right there. So bring it here, and now what we are going to do, we are going to set some values to it. Okay, my variable, and here I'm going to go add the dynamic contents. Now in this case, I'm going to go to the web activity output. So I'm going to get everything, whatever it is going to return. Fine, hit OK. Now it is all set. We can experiment few more times, and let's see how is our output looking. Now let's debug. Let's refresh here, and we see that first of all the web activity got this value here. This is the URL, get method, no headers are provided, and now we can click right there. So there is a status success, then there is a data. That's actually a meat of it. Then the rest of that, we have all that information coming from the Azure Data Factory itself. So actual part is this part where we have this data. So that's what we need to actually extract and write to some file. We are going to play with it and do it. Okay, now what we are going to do here, we are going to see what happened here. So now it's going to set the value to the variable, and when it is trying to set, it is saying that the variable, my variable of type string, cannot be initialized or updated with the value of a variable object. That's correct, because it is returning us the JSON data, and my variable is type is string. So I'm going to do few things here, and I'm going to go click right there, and I'm going to put parentheses around it. Okay, so at the end and right after the my at the rate sign. So you see right there, if you see, notice right there, that's the parentheses I'm putting, curly parentheses or brackets. Once I do that, it is going to take the whole value and convert to the string. Now it's going to do that, but there are some disadvantages. Once you do that, what will happen? It will add a backslash. It will add the escape character to all the values which are going to return from the web activity. So let's go ahead and take a look. Now, if we debug again, okay, it got completed. So that's good. Let's see. We will keep trying, and maybe even multiple tries will be succeeded. Now you see that in the web one, that's where our request is going, and then we have output data. That looks good. But as I converted my variable to the string and then provide this value, I'm trying to convert the web1 dot output to this string. So what will happen if I go to the variable here? You see that this has put all those backslashes around it, and I have the way to take care of it. So we are going to do that. Okay, don't worry about that. Now what we are going to do, we are going to bring the copy activity next, and then write our data to the copy to the file here. And now go to copy activity, and in the copy activity, what we will do right there. Okay, so in the copy activity, we are going to go to the source, and here what you are going to do, we are going to create a new file, right? So we are going to read from this variable and then write that data to the file. But as of now, I don't have a straightforward way to create a file from here just for the variable. So I'm going to play a trick. I'm going to go to my Azure Blob storage, and there I have actually created a template file. That's a CSV file I have created. I'm going to use that one. Okay, so go to the my linked service. Let's say we can create a new one, doesn't matter. So it's going to be Azure subscription, and my blob storage is TechbrothersIT storage, and it's going to call b3. Okay, so now let me take you back while the subscription, sorry, this is being created. Now I'm going to show you that file what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go take you to the containers input folder, and in the input folder I have template.txt file. This file has no data but only one value. See right there? So this is just a template file, because without template file I was not able to create this scenario. So you create a template file with one value. Okay. Now what happened? We are going to map this to the input template file, and then the value inside the template file will be overwritten. So nothing to worry about. So hit OK, and now we have first row has header no, and the import schema yes, it's okay. Now hit fine OK here, and next that's where our actual part is going to start. So the configuration you see right there, additional columns, you're going to click new. Once you click on new, then you're going to provide some column name, my column. Okay, and then we are going to say add dynamic content. So here you are going to use the my variable. Okay, see right there, my variable. So as we are already saving the values of a JSON from the web activity to the variable, so we are going to use variable. Now this looks good, and now we are going to go to the sink, and in the sink we are going to create a data set. We are going to use the Azure Blob storage because we would like to create a file. Now you ask me, why don't I go ahead and create a JSON file? Because I don't really, I have to play the tricks here, and I'm going to create the delimited file, and the JSON does not provide me some of the option that delimited text file does. I will show you what I'm talking about. So select delimited text, but at the end we are going to create a JSON data in a CSV file. So you can also extension it .json, and it will be valid JSON, So hit OK. And now what we are going to do here, we are going to select our Azure Blob storage, And in this case, you're going to go to the output folder. Now in this output folder, you are going to hit OK, and we don't want any row header and all that. So we are going to go to the open here in the sync and then provide the name. I'm going to call it web output.json. Okay, how about that? Even this file is like not JSON type, but I'm giving extension JSON because I'm saving the JSON data in this file. Okay, so believe in me, it is going to be JSON data. Now, what we are going to do, we are going to go to the mapping here and then say an import schema. Once we do that, let's provide some test value for a variable and hit OK. Now it is bringing this one because remember there is a my column value in the template folder file, and that's where it's in. As there is no column, it's saying, hey, would you like to give a column name 1 to that value? I'm saying, hey, even delete that. I don't even care because I don't want that value, and I'm going to override that values by my column that I created right here, that additional column I created in the source. So use that one only, and it is going to be string yes, fine, keep it string, and the destination column 1. The name doesn't really matter because I'm not writing as a header. Okay, so we are all good here. Now what we are going to do, we are going to go ahead and execute our debug. I hope the web activity will let us run. This is important for me to finish this demo and eat my meal. Okay, it failed, and I believe it failed with the too many requests again. See right there. So I'm gonna give it a try again, and I'm hoping it should run. Because when you use sometime free stuff, you are not always lucky to use it over and over. Anyways, the second run just got completed fine. And if I go right here, that's my URL, and then I have this data there. But what happened? As remember, I save this JSON data to the variable, and in the variable I told this convert to the string by putting curly parentheses around it. So look at the data, what happened. See right there, all those backslashes, it's called the escape character. Okay, fine. So my data is very ugly, and that's how it is, right? So my column has all these values. Now let's go and take a look on the file itself, and I'm gonna go to the output folder or container and web output, that's .json. Now if I go edit, see right there, all those backslashes are coming. That's not what I want. I want a nice clean JSON, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play with it. So how I'm gonna play with it? Remember I was telling you in my copy activity, I choose a CSV file. So in the sync, if you see right there, the limited text, okay, so I'm gonna go open it, and I have all those different type of filters that I can use. So first of all, I'm gonna say backslash, and I'm going to say no escape character. Fine. Second part, if I will try to run this as it is gonna throw me error and saying, hey, if you are setting no escape character, you also set the code character to none. So I'm gonna set that as to no code character as well. Now I'm gonna come back to my web activity, and what we are gonna do, we are gonna try to debug, and I'm hoping it will go through, especially with the too many requests what we are putting on the REST API dummy website. That's very important for me to this complete. It failed again. Let me see what error we have, and too many requests. I have to run this one more time, actually two more time, and I'm hoping I will be able to run because I don't have any other way to get this done. Let's try one more time and see if it will go through. Otherwise, I might have to put some, I don't know, maybe wait or something like that. I have no idea. In progress. Come on. Okay, it got completed successfully. That's awesome because I wanted this to get completed. Now, if we go back to our file and we take a look here, let's see, copy activity completed as well. And now if I will say web output.json, go to edit and see, beautiful. that backslash has been removed by, as I said, no escape character. If I will just copy this, control A and copy, and try to go to the right here and paste it, valid.json, and see such a beautiful JSON is right there. But think about that, this is all the garbage that Azure Data Factory have added to it, or this came uh, from the web activity. And let's say if I'm only active, uh, if I'm only interested to get the data, and I don't care about status and all those kind of things, then I can get this node only. So I can go and just grab that. I have the way to do that. How I'm gonna do it? I'm gonna go to the my pipeline, and I'm gonna go to the variable. And if you see that I'm seeing output, right? So look at here. So right there, see data. So I can just say that output dot data. So in if I do that, it's gonna get me only this part. Okay, so I have this option in the set variable. I'm gonna go right there, and where say output, then after the output I'm going to say dot data. So you can see here I have activity, and then my activity name is web. That's what we have, that output dot data, because I'm interested to get only the data part out of that JSON. So now we're gonna hit OK, and let's go back right there, and what we can do, I made this big size. Okay, so let's make it a little small, not that small, but we are okay now. We are gonna go and debug, and this is the last time I'm debugging, and I'm hoping these dummy REST API site will let this request go through. Yes, it failed again. Okay, so too many requests. Yeah, they understand me, but I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna try one more time and see what happen. We are lucky this time, and it finally went through. So all good. Let's go to the output file and take a look. Let me close this guy. And now we click on output, and guess what we have? We should have only the data part of it. See, right there. So I got that. So that looks really great, and that's a very clean format. And if I take this one to the my JSON validator, nice people who has written JSON link.com or other websites, these people put a lot of hard work and help us out with the people with the free stuff. So great. Anyways, so what we have here, see if that's that beautiful data we have in the output. So this is how you are going to create your pipeline that is going to read the data from the web, or maybe from the Azure function, and then you are gonna maybe set to the variable or directly even write it here. In this case, if you are in the source, let's say if you don't want to use the variable, what you can do, you can always go right there, and here where we said that my column, that's where you can use the expressions. So instead of variable, you will be using right there my web dot data. Okay, so you can use that. You might have to put parentheses around here. So in this case, let's see what happened. So now even we are not using this variable anymore. So I removed the variable, and I've connected my web activity right there. So I was just showing you different scenarios, and how you can do all those different type of tricks and learn the different activities. And especially those are important because sometimes you have want to append some value with the set variable and all that. So that's why I use the set variable. So this got completed as well. And if you go back here and we refresh our file, and see, it's the same data. It didn't do anything different. So but if you want to make some small change, let's say you're reading this, now if you want to read only this, maybe status or something, you want to maybe read everything, I don't know. If you want to read, let's say these guys, activity dot headers and all that. So let's see if we can do that as well. So I don't want to be wasting your time here forever, but there are so many possibilities from that JSON data. You can extract whatever you want. Okay, so hit OK, and let's run one more time, and maybe I hope a web activity will go through, because we have done so many request to the site. It went through. Let's go take a look and now refresh. This data looks good, and we are gonna go and see right there. So it got this all those information what was here inside that. So see right there. And this time I wanted to only get this data. So right there, ADF connection response. So it got everything from here, you know. So if you see right there, connection alive and all that, you can take this data, put in a JSON validator, and let's see. Yeah, valid JSON, read all the things. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you learn a whole lot different concept from here, and you will be able to make use of it. I will see you guys in next video. If you like my effort, go ahead and subscribe my channel.